What's going on, guys? It's Chev. We're back here over on some more XDEFIANT, and today I'm going to be working on my MP7. I'm just now getting over to my MP7 after I got a few weapons gold. So I have the gold AK, the gold Vector, the gold TAC-50, the gold M44, and the gold P90. I think there's 24 total weapons in the entire game, 19 primaries, 5 secondaries. So I'm just kind of doing them in like a specific order here since these two are done. Now up next is the MP7. Both of the sniper rifles are done, so that'll be simple. Luckily, you don't have to level the pistols up as much. I think it requires less XP or something at least. So I just figured, hey, I'm just gonna do all my SMGs now. Why not? I might swap over to shotguns after I'm done with the SMGs instead of like assault rifles or something. Maybe even the marksman rifle. I've been having a good time. I'm level 64. It's a pretty high level, I would say, but I'm definitely not the highest level I've ever seen. I've seen people over level 90 at this point. So me being at 64, not that crazy. But recently, over the past day or so, people have gotten their time in with XDEFIANT. They know what are and are not the obvious issues, what the game does well and what the game doesn't. I mean, me personally, I've just been having a good time, period. But Mark Rubin has been pretty active on Twitter talking about things and just clarifying things with people, and I figured I would say the same thing. Everything feels so fast on this game. I just got off of Call of Duty after a couple hours, using the new Car 98 and everything. I think that's the thing that I really enjoy. I think Call of Duty and XDEFIANT do certain things really, really well, and they lack in other places, which I really enjoy. I love the organic feeling of XDEFIANT overall. I love the fact that there's no skill-based matchmaking. I feel like that there's an actual community that I'm playing with, and not like some sort of fucking lab rat that's just getting tested on and separated into little groups and shit like that. It's just a weird experience. I don't even feel like I'm playing with people that even understand. Like, I just don't ever feel like I'm playing as a community whenever I play Call of Duty anymore, if that makes sense. And the people that were around, like, over on Twitter, for example, for, like, in the early parts of the Call of Duty community anyway, those people know who they are, and they know who's been around that entire time. You guys know exactly how that shit was, especially, like, the early sniping days. You guys remember how that shit was. It really was like a community, whether people were at odds with each other or not. It really was like this community that felt more organic and together. Then skill-based matchmaking, more around like the, 2019, 2020 mark, when we got this huge injection of new players. Call of Duty got so big from Warzone, it just felt like the organic feeling of everything was just gone. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that skill-based matchmaking coincides perfectly with, like, that whole thing. I just think it happened to be just feeling similar at the time. Anyway, talking about XDEFIANT specifically, one of the biggest complaints about the game is the netcode. Easily the netcode. It's probably number one. The thing is, I think a lot of people are using the word network for multiple different things. When I think of network, I think of, like, kind of like rubber banding and overall the responsiveness of, like, the damage and other things like that. I don't necessarily notice people being like bullet sponges or my bullets going through people. Now, just because I'm not experiencing that doesn't mean that others aren't. But in terms of actual hit detection, whenever I'm shooting at somebody, I feel like my bullets are always connecting. I absolutely feel that. The thing is, there's going to be people that could definitely disagree with my definition or my idea of network issues even are. My overall connection is always great. I always get good ping, and even when I play on bad ping, I played with people over on West Coast and stuff. I played at 100 ping, I played at 70 ping, and I typically play at 20 to 40 ping. Right now, I currently have 23, however, between 20 and 30 in this lobby. The entire time still, my hit detection in terms of me actually hitting people whenever I fire a bullet, it connects every single time, no matter what connection I'm on. Now, obviously, I can feel the difference between the connections, but not by the amount that you would think it is, because the base, like, weird, quote, networking things on this game, definitely worse than Call of Duty's, no doubt. There's definitely something weird with it, and people notice it, and people have complained about it. It's the number one issue. But actual hit reg, I'm not really having an issue with that. What I am having issues with is dying around corners and walls and things like that, where I try to do like little outplays with all of the movement and stuff that you have on this game. I try to do things that I know would work in other FPS games where, you shoulder peek a little bit. You use your movement and everything, the speed on the game in order to check corners and stuff like that, shoulder peek, get people to shoot, give you a better idea of where people are aiming at from, and sometimes I just find myself just dying through the wall. Now, one thing I will say about dying past walls, while I definitely think that it is an issue, one thing that might be making it seem worse than it is, there's no information on the kill feed whatsoever. On the kill feed, people can't tell when they die by headshots, and another thing that they can't tell is when they died through a wall bang. By being shot through a surface, which you can do, you can kill people through surfaces on this game. Just like Call of Duty, there are certain surfaces you can shoot through. It ranges from things that are easily able to be shot through to things that are just absolute, there's no way that you could shoot through it whatsoever. I think if we had more descriptive indicators and icons in the kill feed, we'd be able to have a little bit of a better idea of what's going on and what's happening. On top of obviously a kill cam, but a kill cam can only tell so much of a story considering, at least the way that Call of Duty does kill cams, it's not a actual live thing. It's like a snapshot of what happened or some shit like that. They explained it before. But basically, it's just replicating what it thinks happened, not the actual thing that happened, which is why you'll still get weird kill cams and stuff in Search and Destroy or whatever. It's making a copy of what the game believes happened, not what actually happened on screen. So in those specific scenarios where it seems like maybe I'm dying around a corner or something, maybe the kill feed could tell me, hey, you got wall banged instead of of me assuming that it's just the garbage netcode. It's very easy to start talking about, you know, the netcode boogeyman, lag compensation and stuff. That was a discussion in the Call of Duty community as well. Years and years ago, the term lag compensation was used like the term SBMM is today. People spoke about it like it was the boogeyman. So hit registration is being looked at, and network is definitely going to be a thing that is more finely tuned. In my experience, my hit registration has been great, but dying around corners, what I believe is a quote network issue, is rampant. It happens a lot, multiple times a game. They've also mentioned bunny hopping, because there's a lot of people that are complaining about the game, you know, talking about, oh no, there's definitely skill-based matchmaking and stuff. They had already addressed that. There is absolutely no skill-based matchmaking in the normal playlist. There was skill-based matchmaking in the welcome playlist, which you can access when you're under level 25, but past that, there is no skill-based matchmaking. Now, there is team balancing, where the game will try to mix the teams up and stuff, but it's more of a complex algorithm than just, okay, well, this is good player, and then we're gonna put all the bad players on that team. I know for a fact that that is not how it works, at least not as consistently as it does with Call of Duty. It's not as consistent as people would think. I've been in lobbies before, alone, where I've had one team be multiple level 50s plus, and then the other team, everybody else is under level 30. Now, it could be the case that maybe those guys that are under level 30 are somehow performing better than the 50s, 60s, 70s and stuff, but then when we played that game out, guess who got smashed? So the team balancing I don't think is nearly the same or as extreme as Call of Duty's, but I also don't really consider team balancing the same as skill-based matchmaking. People are complaining about the amount of bunny hopping, and I will say it's pretty fucking egregious as I watch a guy literally quadruple bunny hop right in front of me. In terms of balancing that and stopping that and punishing that, they're not going to make your character seem sluggish and disgustingly unfun to pilot. They'll just add a penalty for doing so. If you played any of the tests beforehand, the betas, the alphas, whatever, you'll know that there used to be an actual penalty whenever you would bunny hop too much. So if you ran around a corner, jumped, and started jumping like this, you would end up getting this weird, like, swirly kind of dizzy effect, kind of like when you hold your breath too long with a sniper rifle or something. It makes it harder to aim, basically. It punishes you for jumping too much. Oh man, perfect shield. Ooh. See little shit like that? I mean, like, I feel like I absolutely killed that guy. And the hit registration itself is absolutely amazing. I'm not getting hit markers when I'm missing. My bullets aren't going through people. Anyway, that whole penalty is going to be re-added into the game. Why it was removed in the first place, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know the explanation for it, but so hit reg and network stuff. We had the bunny hopping stuff. That penalty is going to be coming. Also, I already had 2 videos talking about the snipers and stuff, but I had already mentioned in that video that they are going to be looking at the flinch. The flinch is currently bugged. Snipers are obviously supposed to have flinch. Adding flinch to snipers is a good way to balance them out. I don't think flinch overall for like full autos and stuff though. I don't think it's fun. I think it makes for very inconsistent gunfights and things like that. I think it should be my aim versus their aim, and we shouldn't be dealing with like this weird turbulence. So once that flinch is back in the game, it should be a little bit easier to be able to combat them. The usual counter to snipers is to just lay down fire at them so they can't actually properly aim. Some people put words in my mouth and said that no, they should be buffing snipers, saying things like, oh, you don't believe that flinch should be on snipers. I never said that. There's just a lot of like really angry, dishonest ass people out there. Also, I don't think my word is gospel. Entire time I've been making YouTube videos, all I've been doing is just talking. All I do is I don't know any more or any less than anybody about this stuff. I'm just speaking from my experiences. And still, again, the number one thing that I really enjoy about XDEFIANT overall is the responsiveness and the actual like organic community that there actually is. There's an actual person that people can talk about, not just like glorify and just dick suck for no reason. Somebody that will actually give us answers and say how things are, or at least say as much as he can. You know what I mean? Obviously, I understand he's got a job. There's certain things that he can and can't say and stuff like that, but the fact that he even addresses some of these things is huge for me. Whereas all of these other games that I play, it feels like you don't really get that interactivity with the developers or a community manager or something. Usually they end up going dark and just not speaking for whatever amount of time. Now, given we were very frustrated with how long it took for the game to actually come out and everything, but again, ever since the game has come out, we have gotten nothing but communication. And I think the more and more that, you know, the game is quote fixed and all these glaring issues stop being so glaring, obviously the interactivity will die down because there's less things to complain about. That's normal. So yeah, they're going to be looking at the network. Definitely take that whole idea into consideration with the whole wall bang indicator, and also maybe a headshot indicator or whatever. I don't know if it's like similar people that work on the UI versus other changes in the game or whatever, but if there is somebody in charge of like the specific kill feed and the way that that interacts or whatever, if we can get a wall bang indicator and also a headshot indicator. I think the wall bang indicator can make it a little bit more clear if we were actually shot through the wall or experienced some weird network / rubber band issue. The weird thing though is that I don't ever find myself killing other people around the corner on my screen. I don't know if that clarification helps at all, but on my end, I don't ever feel like I'm killing somebody past a wall when they shouldn't. It's only when I'm dying past a wall. I don't know what they can do with that information, but yeah, that just occurred to me because I don't experience it as time playing the game against other people, it always just feels like it happens to me. Again, that's network related. Other people have different experiences as well, but that's just my experience. I'm enjoying this game. I'm loving this game on release. I guarantee we'll enjoy it more months down the road as well, with a lot of these issues just ironed out and more quality of life stuff and everything. It'll be beautiful.